Hey, hey, you guys, we're live tonight. I hope you guys can see us and hear us. If you can just say hey, hey, and let us know that you're here and let us know where you're watching from, that will be awesome. Let me fix this one. Oh, Happy New Year. I'm super excited about the new year. Actually, I'm kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? When you don't, not that you don't care, but you're just kind of like, not apathetic. What word am I looking for, baby? It's another year, right? But it's the new year, so I'm not seeing any comments, so you have to tell me.
I don't have any yet on YouTube,
Okay.
which is where I'm
I
looking.
see a couple now. Happy New Year. Happy joy. If you guys see me looking around, we're going to do some iron on decoupage tonight, and I cannot find my little stand for my mini Cricut. And if you guys have one, you know this sucker gets hot. It gets really hot. So I really need it. Or I'm going to be handicapped tonight. I mean, I'll figure out something. We crafters always do, right? But it would be optimum for me to have my little safety stand for my little iron. It's just so weird that it's not here.
I am really hot right now on the mic because I can actually put it next to my face.
Oh, yeah. So let's say hi to everybody.
Yep.
Legit Jan. I like that legit.
Yeah. All right, there we go. All right, we sound.
I'm freezing. It's
Did you boost it on there?
I did not.
Okay, good, because we're actually coming in just a tiny bit hot.
Just a little hot.
And I'm turning it down, but
I'm coming in hot.
I'm not entirely certain why we are.
Okay.
I'm playing with the board, but we're a little hot right now, and that's all right.
I need to like chill out. Is that what you're telling me?
A little bit. No, it's mainly me. Because I'm like right next to the mic, which is what I should be. So, all right, give me 1 second. Let me bundle all this stuff back up.
Okay.
All right, and then I can put on my microphone.
Happy joy. Oh, you were smart. Oh, you opened that before we came on. I guess it's not gonna pop because it's not real champagne, but.
No, well, there wouldn't have anyway because I had to use a can opener.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't have popped.
Over.
We wouldn't have heard the bit.
Yeah.
Pop.
All right, so let's say hello.
Why are you throwing stuff?
Because apparently I was disgusted with this, and it needed to learn a lesson, I guess. That's your microphone. I don't know why that just fell off, but it did.
Yeah, Karen, we came out and it's like pouring out here. It's pouring in Arizona. Y'all know we're not used to that. It's raining. And it's cold in here, so if you guys hear my heater, I'm sorry. But I didn't want to go back out in the rain and get my jacket because then my fro would shrink during the live. We don't want that to happen.
It really would. Rain does that to people. It shrinks things.
Water. Shrinkage is real, baby. For my hair, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, let's see. All right, there we go. We're live. Okay, on YouTube, we have Carrie McLean, CQC Crust. I'm guessing you're a restaurant or something. That's kind of cool. Cindy Fowinkle, Vanessa, Teresa Cathy. Vanessa from San Antonio tested positive. Is it Vanessa San Antonio or from San Antonio? Tested positive for COVID last night.
Oh, take care.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to give you the typical drink plenty of water, which I know sounds so lame, but so many people get dehydrated and it causes so many major problems. Liquid IV is really good to keep you hydrated.
Yeah. If you do not like the sound, tell us. And I'll play with it a little bit. I'm listening to the direct feed now, not the feed coming off of.
Oh, okay.
So that way I'm reacting to you in real time.
Vanessa said she's from
San Antonio. Okay, there we go. Shannon Booth, Tommy Smith, Marsha Walls.
Hey, 3Bs.
Lady J, Art and Whatnots. Ruru 2, drying out in Northern California, had a ton of flooding.
I saw that.
And absolutely fab finds from Florida. That's way too many Fs. That's on YouTube. On Facebook, we have Alyssa Bricker Visithin, Happy New Year from New York State. Kathy Thompson, Melissa Upton List, Connie Pop, Memory Williams.
Hey, Deborah.
Where do I know Memory from?
She's been with us a few times on here.
Don't I know a Memory? I could have sworn.
You guys are becoming familiar now because we hear your names every week.
Dorothy Lage, Marty Williams Bailey from Washington State, Patricia Browning, Michigan, Shannon Booth, Celestine Todd. No, it's not Celestine. It's Celestine.
Celestine. Oh,
Celestine,
man,
I think.
My bowl.
Joy Elizabeth Brotis, Corey Christensen from Las Vegas, Samantha Brown from Australia, Lori Stanley Henderson from Ohio, Karen Gregory Clayton, watching from rainy,
Texas.
stormy San Diego, Angie Champagne, Joyce Phillips Peterson, Celestine said, love the
Happy
sneak
New Year,
peek of the new paper.
Oh, yeah. The Insiders got a sneak peek of the new designs that'll be coming out tomorrow.
Donna Young Anderson from Colorado, Jenny Marmion. Dorothy says, pouring and windy in Dos Cabezas. We're sharing that right with you.
Yeah. You guys will probably get snow, though, Dorothy, right?
That's what Melissa says, because Melissa is in Williams now?
I know she's up north.
Are you in Williams or Winslow? I'm not sure which. She used to be in Flagstaff, but she says it's a blizzard up there.
Oh,
Connie
wow.
Berkrem.
I had a feeling we were going to get the tail end of that big storm.
Yep. Kath A. Lean from Rhode Island. Marcy Eaton. Been raining in California. Patty Jo Woodard out in New Mexico. There's Vanessa San Antonio again on Facebook. She's on both. Pamela McDowell, Joyce Phillips Peterson, Corinne Godfrey up in Canada. Sound is fine, thank you. Redeemed Furniture, Art, and Decor in Northern Michigan. Kath Aileen says sound is good. Very good, thank you. Linda Dowdy, Sharon Britton Allen. It says YHATCHR. I think she meant Thatcher.
Yeah, she's in Thatcher.
You're in Thatcher? All
Yes.
right. We met somebody who has family in Thatcher yesterday.
We did in Tucson.
Yes. And because he looks at us.
We said we were from Safford, and he says, what part? We're
What
like,
part? There's one part, man.
there's one part.
When I meet Chicagoans, I always say, what part? And because it's a big city, L.A., what
Yes.
part, you know?
Yeah, Safford, what part? We're stumped. Like, what part? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's...
The Safford part.
Yeah. Melissa Pageant. Let's see. Cheryl Montgomery House from Texas, of course.
Happy New Year, Deborah. Thank you.
Let's see. Becky Knutson from Minnesota. Gee, somebody whose name is Knudson from Minnesota. I'd never believed that.
You never believe that?
I'm
assuming it's
like
a common
Smith,
name.
Everywhere else.
Yes.
It's everybody in Minnesota. Donna Trobaugh just watched you on Chelsea's page on a replay.
Oh. Oh, wow. That was an old replay.
Yeah. Barbara Garrels waiting for more snow tonight in Colorado. Let's see. Colleen's Corner. D. McConnell Huff from Ohio. She put I don't.
We know what happens when you're typing, baby.
I thought
no judgment here.
No, the space should be after the O. Isn't it O? Hi, O. Let's see. Kim Poultier, Rowe, Poulterer, Rowe, catching you from Philly, and Clarissa Brown from Maine.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you guys so much. And for my TikTok peeps, I'm sorry. It's a little harder, but legit, to answer your question, my husband does not craft with me, no. Although he will craft every now and again here. Just, I don't know, because his wife is crazy.
When you run out of ideas?
Is that when it happens?
That's really when it happens.
But before we get started, we wanted to say Happy New Year. So we have our beverage. Look, our apple cider. Look at these fancy glasses from the Dollar Tree, you guys. So we have our fancy glasses.
Wait, let me do it in front of the mic.
Oh yeah, a little ASMR. It didn't do it. It did it the first time. It was hitting the empty. You have to drink all that and pour it again, baby, for it to work.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that.
You know, I just realized I have not had, because I was on the drive yesterday, I was looking at all the state troopers that were out because there were a ton out. Rightly so. It was New Year's Eve.
Yes.
I was glad they were out. And I thought, well, what if I get stopped? What if it's a checkpoint, which would have been fine. I don't think I've had a drop of alcohol for 3 years.
Really?
I want to say the last one I had was I had a little bit of sparkling. What's that one you like?
Oh, the last, probably the wine fest we went to in
No,
Wilcox?
at Sandra's for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
I remember we missed 2 Thanksgivings with her because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't bring, normally
Wine
we
this
bring
time.
the
So
sparkling.
that's 3 Thanksgivings ago.
That's what I'm saying. So I think it's been 3 years since I've had a drop. I'm not an alcohol drinker, so.
So we have local wineries. I claim them, even though they're in the neighboring county. But which winery was it? Because they don't carry it anymore. I'm so sad.
Coronado.
Coronado does not have their sparkling wine anymore. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Miss Dorothy, if you have any pull, you talk to them.
Didn't somebody say they were going to bring out a sparkling when we bought all that wine for the retreat?
Yes, I believe it was 3 Wings, the one on the corner.
Birds and Barrels?
Was it Birds and Barrel? One of them.
Said they were going to, but it just wasn't ready yet.
Yes, I
So.
believe so. But Happy New Year, you guys. We just want to do a cheers and Happy New Year's to it's apple cider.
Dorothy Lage, is that sparkling Martinelli's from my old home of... I'm trying to read this with my glasses on, which I cannot do, so I have to take them off because that's just not going to happen. Is that Martinelli's from my hometown, Watsonville, California?
Oh, it is.
It is Martinelli's.
It is Martinelli's.
Let's see if it says Martinsville.
I'm guessing that's where it's from, if she knows it.
Watsonville, California,
Oh,
95076.
That is where it's from.
There you go. So, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone. So tonight I've promised to do 3 different decoupage samples, examples, however you want to call it. Oh, I love this. I don't know why I only drink it on. We used to, remember it used to come in the little short squatty bottles you guys shaped like apples? I never see them anymore though.
We used to get apple cider when we go apple picking up in Michigan.
Yeah, I believe Apple Annie's does that.
I would assume, yeah, they probably press the apples right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for tonight's project, you guys, but last week I felt so bad I forgot to turn my people down from TikTok for like a long time. This is an old tennis racket cover, and we just cut, when I say we, I mean George, my assistant, cut a piece of cardboard to fit in here. And I think he cheated. He like cut it almost the size, just in case you like see one of these and you want to do it. And then he sanded it around to make it like fit perfectly after the fact. So I'm just taking it apart because I want to decoupage this insert in here. So we're gonna do that tonight.
We have a first-timer, Debbie Mastro from Minnesota.
Hey Debbie, welcome to the madness.
And Laura Kentner on YouTube says it's minus 9 degrees Celsius. Oh. It's almost warm enough to tan. I have a Minnesota story.
Do you have a Minnesota story? Hold on, babe. Let me get set up, and then you can tell your story.
All right.
So I'm just taking this apart, you guys, and look over my table. It's a mess. I've had a week, haven't I, baby? I've been a bit of a hot mess this week.
This has been your I'm not creative week.
It is.
And you seem to it's ebbs and flows.
It does.
But it's creative. So of course,
cyclical.
if you're not inspired, it just isn't.
Yes. So I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to set these aside. You guys can help me decide in a bit based on our decoupage if we should stain these or if we should paint them. We'll decide together. But let's do our first sample tonight. So we said we're going to do 3 examples. I feel like there's too much crap on my table. There's a lot of distractions. Let me clean up. Shh. Let me just clean up for 1 second. And since you're... Oh, never mind. It's right here. Well, no, I actually feel like it's taking away from what we're doing. Oh, are you pouring me more? Thank you, darling. You're so nice. Okay. I probably messed you up when I moved it, huh?
You did.
Okay. I'm sorry. I looked up and I was distracted. That's bad. But I'm always a mess, y'all. This is the Hot Mess Express. Y'all know that, right? Like, that's the deal. So... I want to do 3 examples of Wrinkle Free Decoupage. So I figured we'd do this project together. And let me bring you guys in just a wee bit. A wee bit, although this thing was being weird last week.
Angie Champagne is toasting with Sprite. Okay. Donna Trobaugh has 2 wineries in the family.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Dorothy Lage says Bodega Pierce has sparkling wine.
Okay. We went to so many tasting rooms before the retreat. Honestly, they all kind of blurred together.
Did we go to Bodega Pierce? I don't think we did.
Are they on Main Street on Railroad Avenue? Because if they're not, we didn't go there.
Yeah.
So before I start, you guys, what am I going to do? You guys know the answer to this question, even though I don't have any good paint in front of me. I'm going to paint this white. And if you guys are new, I always paint my substrates white before I decoupage so that my colors will pop. Baby, can you hand me that white? It's a thing, it says, it's a bottle on the floor right there. It says white primer. Sorry, baby. Yeah, Lord.
I'm now kind of slid
I
in.
see.
It's empty.
Oh, man.
You want this?
I'll take that, but... Okay. We'll use white paint. If it bleeds, it'll just be an example of what happens.
This is what you wanted when you wanted this sound set up. So I'm kind of...
You're kind of tied in
I'm
right
in
now?
my booth now. And
So I want to open my bottle, you guys, and my hands, because of the weather, is just not like excellent right now. So I bought this little thing from Amazon. It's in my Amazon shop, although I don't have a link for you guys tonight, but it's in there. And I love it because I have all these different options for size of jars that I can open, and it works really good. So I think I'm going to open this from the bottom. So that when my hands are not able, I'm still able, right?
Melissa Paget said, I thought your title meant we were going to get to be wrinkle free.
Oh. Well, I don't have that yet because I still have wrinkles. If I show up without wrinkles, Melissa, then you'll know I found out something.
All right, I need to ask anybody who's in a cold weather area. So upper Midwest, upper New York, New England.
Oh, I know Buffalo's
Canada.
gotten hit so hard.
So when I was
my
in
heart
school,
goes out to them.
When I was in college in Minnesota, in the spring, it got up to 30, 32, somewhere around there. Still freezing, but it got up into the 30s.
Okay.
Mind you, it had been zeros most of the winter, or worse. The girls literally went out, shoveled patches of snow in the grass, put down beach towels, got in their bathing suits, and went out to tan.
What? In 30 degrees?
You know, if you've had 4 months of 0 or worse,
I guess it's all
30
relative.
feels really, really warm.
Yeah, but you have to move the snow.
Yeah, they had to shovel it.
Oh, Lord have mercy for
We
Jesus.
thought it was hilarious. We were standing around just watching.
I'm sure you
And
guys were.
those young ladies were very serious.
No.
So I'm just curious if anybody else...
Has ever laid out in the snow to go tanning?
None of the young ladies in Chicago ever did that. Never. You unfortunately had to either travel or wait until summer to start to tan. And then they were serious about it.
And then they were serial about it.
Yes.
If you guys ever find that your paint gets kind of sticky, just use your spray bottle. And that'll help to... And you guys see I didn't spray a ton, right? I just sprayed a little bit. Because I don't want to break up the emulsion of my paint. I just want to get it to move a little bit.
Dorothy Lage says Bodega Pierce is in Kansas Settlement.
Oh, okay. So we didn't
get
go
to
there.
that. Yeah.
I know we should have called Dorothy to be our tour guide when we went.
I know. She knows where all the good places are.
She does. I can't believe I lost the base to my little iron. So
Is that it
disgusted.
right there?
Is it gray?
In the tool box, right next to the white and black cords that are kind of looped over each other.
No. Oh, that gray flat thing? No. It looks like it's shaped like the iron. It's shaped like the bottom of the iron, and it's tall, and it's hard plastic. That's like a little scrubby thing.
Oh, okay.
But thank you. I appreciate you looking, Daddy. So I should have had all these painted already. I know, but I took a nap today, y'all.
Corinne Godfrey, you did not want to see my hubby snow blow with no shirt on.
See, there's snow and there's no clothes. I'm just having a hard time reconciling that in my brain. Because
Sure.
I'm cold right now.
Sherry Benhart. Here in Iowa, a week and a half ago, was minus 40 for 3 days. Remember that?
Oh my gosh.
Then it warmed up to 20. It felt like a heat wave.
Oh wow.
It's all relative.
I guess it's all relative. I don't know if I guess if I had to, I would, but I would have a hard time. I've lived in California and Arizona my entire life, you guys.
On YouTube, Lori Kentner. Here in Manitoba, some of the guys wear shorts all winter. I've seen bare knees at minus 30. Not
Bare
mine.
knees at minus 30? No. No.
Dreaming Cat Studio just got an alert that floodwaters are heading towards Sacramento Freeway.
Oh no.
And we're crafting.
I hope everybody's at home safe, because I know it's been raining in Northern California for a little bit, so everybody should be home safe. I mean, if they're able to be. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just paint both sides of this so we don't have to stop at mid projecting. There's a lot of knots in this wood. Knowing me, it was probably on, like, you guys know how when you go to Home Depot and they have in the lumber yard, they'll have big old pieces of wood that aren't perfect, that are like marked down to like really, really inexpensively. I am infamous for coming home with lots of that wood.
Donna Trobaugh, I was 32. I saw a guy go into the grocery store in shorts. Not uncommon here in Michigan. What?
I can always tell when somebody is not from Arizona, because, you know, you'll see them walking around in shorts in December.
Oh, yeah.
It'll only be like 40 degrees, but the rest of us are like freezing to death. And there'll be somebody walking around in shorts. It's like, where are you from?
Yeah, who are the snowbirds?
Yeah.
That was one thing that folks here, I learned they struggle with, because where I come from before here, Lake Havasu, it's a tourist town, it's a party town, it's a lake town.
Yeah. Oh, so people, we saw people in Walgreens in bathing suits.
In bathing suits.
Yeah.
You just, guys walk in with no shirt and just board shorts, and young ladies are in bikinis. It's just, that's the way it is. Everywhere you go, restaurants, grocery stores, doesn't matter where. Once it starts to get warm, and it starts to get warm in March, there.
Oh, I know. David and I were dating, and he took me to Lake Havasu in March. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's a picture of us standing by the bridge, and I look like I'm melting. It was so hot. It was so hot. And it really wasn't really hot. It was just, usually, you guys know we have time to acclimate, right? It's like cold, and then spring comes, and you get used to that weather, and then it warms up to summer. And I jumped from like winter to summer, going from Safford to Lake Havasu that year.
Havasu's at least 10 degrees warmer than most of the rest of Arizona.
Yeah.
As a rule. Denise Hutchison Nerdall says, don't you use shellac over the knots?
Usually I would just use Wise Owl's primer. It's a stain blocking primer. But I don't have it right here, girl, because, you know, this is the Hot Mess Express.
And Susan Gully asks, will those knots show later?
Well, we're going to decoupage over these knots are like missing, so those holes aren't going to go away. I mean, I could pour resin in them or something to make them go away, but I'll figure out something.
Margie Ponsford Thompson says it's 20 degrees Celsius here in Bathurst, Australia, which is what, 80, 85 Fahrenheit, I believe. But it's summertime.
It's summertime there, right?
Yeah, it better be warm there. Well, and Lisa Ortolin says hello. She's in Queensland.
Hello.
So there you go. So we've got our Aussies.
So I'm probably going to do this side because there's like less knots on this side than this side. I was going to do both sides. We'll see what happens, you guys.
Debbie Mastro, in the spring in Minnesota, 30 degrees is like a heat wave. You have to catch those rays when you can.
I'm wanting to use this on me.
And
I'm
Pittsburgh's
cold.
50.
50's not like...
No, that's way warm for them right now.
I mean, I'm cold. I think it's because it's wet too.
Yeah,
though.
we're a little damp here. So.
But I don't dare complain about the rain.
I keep bumping the mic. I apologize, guys.
Oh, I thought you said I keep bumping.
No,
the
I
mic.
am.
Okay, so this is white, and we're gonna decoupage this. I think we're gonna do. Let's just do the plastic wrap decoupage first. We'll start with that. And so I'm going to show you guys how I get a wrinkle-free decoupage. We'll actually use the water method on this one. I keep going back and forth. I apologize.
Connie Berkram, my neighbor and his son snowblow and shovel in their shorts, although last week at -30 they bundled up near Madison, Wisconsin. Clarissa Brown, in Maine, we wear winter parkas with shorts.
Winter parkas and shorts.
Let's see. Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis says, do the knot side so we can see how you deal with it.
Oh, you want to see me? I'm going to do it anyways because I want to do three. I want to do 3 examples tonight, and so that's why I painted both sides. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do where. So I think I'll do the traditional decoupage with the plastic wrap over the knots, and then I'm going to do the iron-on decoupage here on my. This was a cutting board from the thrift store, and these are some old spindles, and so we just attached them to make, like, I don't know, a decor. And so let me just give this a quick coat of white paint. I do apologize. I should have had these painted up beforehand, but you know, I took a nap today. I woke up with a headache today. It was horrible. It wouldn't go away. And I'm a wimp about being sick because before I turned like 50, I never got sick. I don't know what's going on, y'all. And so I'm not used to getting headaches, and then it wouldn't go away. I did all the things. I drank water. You know.
That's not all the things. That's one thing.
I ate something.
You had a piece of toast.
I know, but these are usually the things. That's usually all it takes is a little something. I tried to lay down and go back to sleep, and I couldn't even do that.
You said that when you got up, the headache went away.
Yeah, when I got for my nap, but I tried to like go back to sleep this morning.
Oh, when you
like
first woke up.
Initially, yeah, because I woke up with that headache. No way, no. I did acupuncture on my like face in different spaces between my thumbs. That's what I mean by all the things, because you know I hate taking medicine.
Dorothy Lage, gotta go. We're treating ourselves to New Year's dinner of Chiopino all the way from Phil's Moss Landing, California. Phil did a cook-off with Bobby Flay and won.
Oh,
good.
Well, have a
Happy
good
New
night.
Year.
Happy New Year, Miss Dorothy.
Cindy Tarleton Johnston, David, that's the first time I heard anyone refer to board shorts since we moved away from the coast in 2007. Look, I've been away from Havasu for 10 years. I don't know what they call them now. That's what men's...
We're not exactly spring chickens over here.
I for all I know, they call them, I don't know, water wings or something. I don't know. Let's see.
I'm going to need my countersink for this, too. A couple of these nails didn't sink all the way.
On YouTube, Lisa Ortolan, have you played with your airbrush yet, Royce?
I haven't. I have not.
She is an airbrush artist.
You might have to give me, do you have a YouTube channel where I can go watch? You can teach me how to use it? That would be cool. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch some videos and watch some people who know what they're doing first. I'm going to just set this aside and let it dry so we can go ahead and get started. So let's do the knotty side. We'll do the knotty side and we'll use saran wrap because that's what we're going to do. So this first way is my favorite way to decoupage. And this is how I get a wrinkle-free decoupage finished most of the time, 99.5% of the time. And then we're going to do iron-on decoupage. And then I'm going to show you guys how you can use your spray bottles to get a wrinkle-free finish. So we're going to do 3 different mini projects tonight. And we're going to decoupage 3 different ways. And so this is just regular plastic wrap, you guys. Nothing special, nothing fancy. This camera is bothering me. Let me get you guys a little...
On YouTube, Helen R., headache remedy to Excedrin, lay down for 20 minutes, always works for me. And Dorothy Ultimus on Facebook, Excedrin migraine helps a lot.
And see, we were having that conversation. I don't think I have migraines, but I've been getting a lot of these morning headaches lately.
Karen Stevens says, I bet you have a sinus infection.
Oh, Lord, I hope not. I'm making some pozole right now with some extra garlic because I can feel something going on. So you might be right.
Cindy Tarleton Johnston, I think they're still board shorts. They could be. I don't know.
So I am making a tray, you guys, and I'm wanting to lean into the industrial theme for this project. And so this is just a little piece. If you guys are new, Generally, my decoupage papers are 20 inch by 30 inch. So this is about a little less than a half a piece of paper left over from last week's project. And so I'm thinking I want to include that number right there. So I'm just going to run my finger along the edges here. Let me do this. Let me be smart. Oh, there is some left because I want to do both sides with this one paper. So I'm going to use it in a way that I can use both sides.
Donna Trobaugh asks, which decoupage method that you're teaching tonight would be best if using napkin decoupage on a vertical piece?
On a vertical piece, so you're having trouble like holding it there. Well,
she doesn't say she's having trouble holding it. She just asks.
Well, if it's a vertical piece, I'm assuming her struggle is having the paper stay put while she's trying to decoupage it.
See, now I interpreted that as it's a piece that's going to be displayed or function vertically.
Okay, so how about you help us with clarification? Are you able to lay the piece down and decoupage it vertically, or are you having trouble because it's falling?
Because you have to do something.
Yeah, because if it's just vertical, you would do the same. So you don't say. We'll see.
Let's see.
We'll let her
Susan
answer.
Gully, you might be starting the big M. Well, you've been getting hot flashes here and there, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't be talking about my hot flashes, David Bell.
You're the one who says you have an internal furnace.
I know I do.
I do. Linda Gardner says morning headaches can come from the spine needing an adjustment.
Oh, that makes sense because my back has been bothering me.
Clarissa Brown, you might need an air cleaner in your room at night. I feel better since I have mine.
Oh.
Donna Trobaugh says it's a grandfather clock.
Oh, okay. So it is vertical and she
Okay.
can't lay it down because it's too heavy. You can cheat. Like, let's say, hold on, let me mark my spot really good before I do an example. Let's say this is a vertical piece and I'm going to be decoupaging it. You could cheat and like take a little bit of extra of your decoupage paper and just like tape it. Tape it up there with a piece of blue tape. And you want to tape the part that you don't care about because there's a pretty big likelihood that it's going to tear. And then that way your paper can stay put. And then once you get your anchor roll down, you know, and you get it decoupaged, then you won't have to worry about it. So it may be that the iron-on method may work best for you because you can put your 3 coats, your 3 layers, right, of your decoupage medium down, and then you could set your paper and then iron your starter row, and then your paper should be set for the rest of it, and you should be able to decoupage. Because I think the challenge of doing something vertical is having to hold it.
Marcy Eaton asks, I tried the iron-on with the plastic wrap with paper. Plastic wrap did not seal. What am I doing wrong?
Was it a larger project?
This is not Donna's. This is somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just asking because the plastic wrap is better with smaller projects. And when I say I'm going to use a plastic wrap tonight, I'm going to use it to smooth this out. I'm not going to use it doing the iron-on decoupage. I'm just going to use it to smooth it out. This is the way you guys see me decoupage every week, but I usually talk about something else, and so we'll go through exactly what I'm doing this week, so you guys can see how I personally achieve Wrinkle Free Decoupage. And a lot of it is practice. So if you've never decoupaged before and you've just only tried a decoupage project once and you weren't successful, then you have to give yourself grace, right? Because there is a learning curve with anything when you're learning. And the more you decoupage, the easier it gets.
Sherry Martin says take magnesium for headaches.
You know, I have some magnesium too, Sherry.
Becky, okay, I'm going to try this name. Perigo Kurakuti. PerigoKurekkoOtte.
Okay, I'll look at that after we're done.
Yeah.
It's probably an herb, which I like.
Morning headaches. No, that's her name. That's the name on the
sorry.
account. Morning headaches may be from not breathing right while sleeping.
I read that.
Make sure your mouth and
today.
nose aren't covered in blankets or smoshed into a pillow. That's you.
Is
also,
it?
Oh, I have to peel the blankets off to give you a kiss goodbye when I leave in the morning.
Do you?
They're always over your face. You're over your head.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Also, you need to drink more water.
Yeah. I've been trying. I have me a little bottle, and it has like times on it, you know,
Marcy Eaton said she tried the plastic wrap with the paper on a wood ornament.
And it didn't work? It may have, I don't know why that didn't work.
Yeah.
So
All the
I'm
folks that are
starting my
coming in late,
anchor
it's
row.
okay.
Yeah, I'm starting my anchor row here, you guys. And I'm just going to make sure that it has really good contact with my surface.
Lisa Ortolin, who asked about the airbrush, says doesn't have a YouTube channel, but does have an Instagram.
Oh, okay. You have to send me your link to your Instagram so I can go see. And I do have a knot right here. We'll come back to that, though, in a few minutes. I'm just going to pretend it's not there for now. And once I get my anchor row, you guys, I'm right-handed, so you guys will notice me turning my paper around. It's so I can work from left to right because it's more comfortable for me. So this is how I get a wrinkle-free finish. And this is primarily, I think, just practice. I'm putting down a nice layer of decoupage medium. I'm using Wise Owl's 1-hour enamel, I think, tonight. I am looking from the side as I lay it down to make sure that I haven't missed any spots. Sometimes when you have like wrinkles or if you have a big bubble, it's because you don't have enough product in a spot. And so I always look from the side. Any space that's dry doesn't have any medium on them. And you always think that you've covered everything, and then you look and there's a big old dry spot in there somewhere. So it's a simple thing, but it can make a big difference in your results. And you guys will notice I always hold my paper up and then I kind of lay it down as I go. I find that if I try to lay my paper down first, then I've actually created a bunch of like air underneath, and that can cause problems. So doing it a little bit at a time like this and just kind of pushing the air out as I go also really helps me to achieve a wrinkle-free finish.
On YouTube, Dreaming Cat Studio, plastic wrap worked for me, but it does work best for flat and smallish.
Yes.
Jessica Waller's Simdars. I used to sleep with a fan close to my face. Now I moved it back. May cause headaches and vertigo, so she's been told. Lori Kentner. Push your fingers to the top of each side of your nose where it meets the brow bone.
Yep.
Just above where your glasses nose pads rest.
This morning.
Gentle pressure, 30 seconds at a time, will help drain your sinuses.
Yeah, I did that. I also did right under my cheekbones and pulled them up. Because I am all about the no medication. I don't know what's up with me and meds, but I just don't like them.
And Becky P., good try on pronouncing my last name. You did good. I'm not trying it again. Says, get those blankets off your head at night. You're breathing in your own carbon dioxide.
Oh, I was probably it right. I'm suffocating myself at night. And you guys see, like, honestly, I think that if you've only decoupaged once or a couple of times and you try it, it doesn't feel like it's plausible, but it really is. It just takes practice. And so even though this surface is uneven, I don't have any wrinkles in this application. So you can get a wrinkle-free decoupage finish by using the traditional method of decoupage. Just take your time, make sure you're laying down a good layer of decoupage medium. You don't want to have any spots where there's no product or there's like less product than the rest of it. You don't want to put on a ton of product because the moisture is what the paper is responding to. So if you like slop on a bunch of it on there, you're almost causing a problem. And then working a little bit at a time and laying your paper down as you like push it down to adhere it so that you're pushing any air out as you go, as opposed to sitting the whole thing down and trapping any air underneath your paper. And so, and even if you have like little wrinkles, because I have little ripples here, but I know what's going to happen is when I dry my paper, those are going to go away. And so you guys will see me, I'm running my plastic across the paper, and I'm really focused on making sure that there's good contact between the paper and the surface. Not so much pulling out the wrinkles, because the more you pull your paper, you're kind of actually causing the problem because you're stretching your paper even more when you continue to rub on it continuously to try to get all those wrinkles out.
Alyssa Bricker Visithin, I decoupaged a box using this method, came out wrinkle-free.
Yes. And so it just takes practice. And I think the iron-on method is, people love it because you get results right away. But you can get wrinkle-free results with the traditional decoupage method. I think it just takes a little practice.
And Liz Clark says, bubbles haunt me after my project is dry. It makes her crazy.
Oh.
It sounds like maybe just slow a little bit. Patience is not just a virtue, it's a lifesaver.
Yeah, it is. And the bubbles usually is, because even if you have product in a space, if it's a lot less than the rest of your piece, then that can cause bubbles too. And with the iron-on method, honestly, you're more likely to have bubbles than you are with this method, which is my personal favorite. But I know the others are easier to learn quicker. And so I know, I get why it's everyone's favorite. And then of course, we're just going to take our sanding block. This one is probably about a 300 at this point. 220 is my favorite because it works really quickly, but it doesn't score my paper. I'm just going straight down. That's my preferred method. I'm guaranteed not to, tear my paper that way. If you go across this way, which you can do, but if you have an edge that isn't quite tacked down, you could pull it and tear it. So that's why I prefer to just go straight down.
Oh, and can I apologize to the TikTok people? I cannot see your comments. I don't have access to TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that. We're not ignoring you. It's just I can't see it.
One of these days, you guys, TikTok will make an arrangement with Switcher Studio, and then it'll be different. I hope they will. That would be nice to be able to stream straight into TikTok, and then I could see everybody's comments, because I can't even go to Instagram from Switcher Studio.
Which is weird, because Instagram's owned by Facebook.
By Meta.
Yeah, excuse me, Meta. Oh, yeah, Meta.
No, I know, right? Because I thought for sure it would be on there, but it's not an option. So, yo no sé. And this is the Royce Mechanics decoupage paper that I'm using, you guys. Or is it mechanical?
Carolyn Holly Keller. If you use Mod Podge, should you water it down to the consistency of the medium you are using?
When I used to use Mod Podge, I added water. I always said my Mod Podge, I would dilute it down to like whole milk was my preference. Because then you didn't have that really tacky, sticky finish on there. And I like matte. And so that's why I would do that as well. Because it would give me a nice matte finish. I use the matte formula, but I would still water it down too. So I wouldn't get that like really thick kind of, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Donna Young Anderson asks, is that a hard, firm sanding block or flexible?
You know what? This one is actually just a sanding pad. So it's kind of flexible. I usually use the sanding blocks, but this is just what I had here available.
Marcy Eaton goes to the chiropractor every week, helps with her headaches. Sue Giesbert. I used to have repeated sinus infections, started using a neti pot. No more sinus infections or sinus headaches.
Oh. Now, you guys remember those knots that we had? I'm just pushing the paper down in there now that it's wet and more malleable. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one right here. I'm just going to push it down in there. And I did put product down into those knots. And so I can either ignore them and kind of just glaze it and leave it, or maybe even, I don't know, I can put some resin in there if it's really important to me for it to be even. But for me, I'm probably just going to put some glaze in there just to get rid of that bright white, and then I'm going to leave them. And it's an industrial piece, and so I think it'll be fine.
On YouTube, Helen R., I love how everyone is concerned about Royce's headache.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That.
I know. I do too. I appreciate it. And I wasn't whining. I took a nap and it got me behind schedule today. So I didn't have all my prep done.
Lorraine Bowden, there's a big shift in consciousness going around. It's a great thing. People are becoming more and more loving and caring every day.
I hope so.
Jessica Waller Simdars, when decoupaging into furniture, I use the original method, and after I iron it as well.
Yes. And so one of our design team members, I don't know if you guys have seen Rhonda from Ignite Furnishings. Her work is fabulous. She does that. She'll decoupage and then she'll go over with an iron between. She does a lot of layers in her furniture pieces. And so she'll usually do the iron on after. But yes, you can do that as well.
And Jessica asks, are you on Instagram right now?
I'm not on Instagram because I had to choose
you
between
have an account,
TikTok.
but we're not live on Instagram.
Yes, I'm not live on Instagram, but I do have an account on Instagram. And honestly, I've been kind of like, how shall I say? When I started doing TikTok, I just kind of ditched Instagram. Like I post it on there every now and again, but not really. But I'm making a recommitment to Instagram.
Linda Gibson was just able to get on here. Could you do a real quick review of what you're doing tonight?
We are decoupaging tonight. We are doing three different ways to get a wrinkle-free decoupage result. And so I just demonstrated what I call the traditional method, but I guess it really isn't, because back in the day, the ladies used like varnish and they would use like 50 layers. So this is my traditional layer of, method of decoupage, which is just laying down your product. And then I use plastic wrap in this specific demonstration, but the whole purpose of this is just to reduce the amount of friction. You guys notice how I was able to really manipulate the paper a lot. I can do that a lot more with this, right, the saran wrap, because it reduces friction, than I could with my hands. And so whether you're using this or if you're using one of the spatulas that have felt on the end, it's the same premise, right? So you can have your felt tip spatula as well. I do find that for uneven projects like this, because this wood has tons of texture, I prefer to use the plastic wrap because I can kind of push down into those recessed areas. And I use this when I'm working over flat surfaces. And this works really, really good, you guys, if you're decoupaging on glass. Because you guys know if you're doing like reverse decoupage on glass, you want to push out like all those bubbles. And so this tool right here works really, really good for that.
Lucy Benitez on Facebook says, you spoke Spanish. Are you Puerto Rican?
No, I grew up in Southern Arizona, girl, so I speak Spanglish. It's not really Spanish. I don't speak fluent Spanish. I can understand a lot more than I can speak. And if I wasn't embarrassed to speak it wrong, I probably would know more Spanish. But George makes fun of my accent.
That's because it's Jorge.
I know.
We call him George, but his name is Jorge.
I know, but when I speak Spanish, he laughs at me.
Yeah.
He laughs at my accent.
Tracy Dyer likes to sand edges off with a nail file. It gives her better control.
Yes, and if you're working on a smaller project or you're trying to get into tight areas, a nail file works really well too. You guys will notice if you've ever bought a kit from me, you're more likely going to get a nail file in your kit, just because logistically it's easier to mail. But they are really good. And they have, I noticed when I went to Dollar Tree earlier this week that they had some giant ones, and those will be really, really good. So I should have gotten some for my craft table.
Janet Perez, I always used Mod Podge, but someone recently said it isn't archival, so not good to use on resale pieces.
So,
is that true, or are you aware of that?
I did hear an artist just say that recently, and she is, it was Jane Belante, and she's a formally trained artist, and she says it's not archival and that it does yellow over time. So I don't use Mod Podge, so I can't say that that's not my experience. You know what I'm saying? I cannot say absolutely that's not going to happen because I literally don't use Mod Podge. I used to use Mod Podge to decoupage with, but I would still go over the top of my projects with varnish.
And
so
Debbie Diggs asked, what's the medium you are using today?
I'm using Wise Owl's 1 hour enamel, I think. I'm pretty sure. Either their Wise 1 hour enamel or their varnish, because I have 2 bottles that I poured and I did not label them because somehow I thought I was going to remember. So until these bottles run out, we're going to have the same conversation every Sunday. But my favorite is the 1 hour enamel, but the varnish is good too.
Pat Reed says, when I do either method, when I put the top coat on, it wrinkles. Ideas, please.
So when you put your top coat on, what's happening is the paper is absorbing the moisture and it's kind of reactivating, if you will. I'll use that word. So it's like re-stretching. So just let it dry. Leave it and let it dry. Or use like a dryer and let it dry. And all those wrinkles, as the paper tightens back up and shrinks, those wrinkles will go away.
Sherry Martin on Facebook says, come home to Instagram.
Come home to Instagram. I love TikTok. I really do. It is so much fun. If you guys are on TikTok, you guys can follow me over there because I behave on Instagram and Facebook. You guys see a little bit of my shenanigans every now and again if I repost a TikTok on Facebook, but there's a lot more shenaniganing over there than there is over here.
Let's see. On YouTube, Lisa Ortolin. Love that paper. Reminds me of artwork that Ducati uses on their brochures.
Oh.
Vanessa says there's so many platforms. We're old. We can't be keeping up with all that.
I know. My goal is to just be where people are, and people are in different places. There are some people who will not do Facebook, and so they're on Instagram. There are some people who are only on TikTok, and so as a brand, I really try to be everywhere so that I can, send people to my retailers to buy paper.
Margie Ponsford Thompson on YouTube. I use watered down PVA glue as it is smooth as decoupage medium and a lot cheaper.
Yeah, the PVA glue, that's just like Elmer's glue, right? And so to me, Mod Podge and PVA are essentially the same thing, I think. Don't quote me on that because I don't know scientifically if that's the case, but in my mind, it is.
Speaking of naps, Flea Brown, just waking up from a nap. Glad to catch you.
Hello. I'm trying to debate if I should use, so this one is from the grain sack decoupage paper, and this is only half of the sheet, right? So I can use this on this paddle, or I can just use the ticking, and then we can put our own typography over the top. I should just do this because we're supposed to be easy tonight, right?
Yes, and you are at 51 minutes.
Stop it. Okay.
Shane Sellers asks on Facebook, is Wise Owl enamel meaning enamel as in enamel paint?
Yes, so Wise Owl has a 1 hour enamel. It's called 1 hour enamel because it actually cures in 1 hour. Although the deeper colors, like Poseidon is my favorite, I would leave 2 hours for that one. The deeper colors do take a little longer. And so they came out with a clear 1 hour enamel. And so, yes. And that's one of the reasons why I like it. It is self-leveling, and it cures faster. I like it. And the transfers really do like it. And I think it's because it's a self-leveling product that the transfers really like it because they like smooth surfaces. If you've ever used a transfer on a piece of glass, once you set that puppy down, it's over. Don't even try to move it because they really do prefer smoother surfaces. I'm just running my finger along the top edge of this, you guys, to kind of score the paper so that when I take it off, I'll know exactly where to cut it. And I'm going to try to save this crown. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I may be able to put it somewhere else, but maybe not. But I'm going to try not to cut it, though.
Alyssa Bricker, Visithen. I ordered the reclaimed wood Christmas trees from your shop. They arrived last week. I love them.
Oh, good.
I'm excited to decoupage them, create 2 different looks, one on each side. Also, thank you for the sample piece of your beautiful paper. It was a wonderful surprise.
Thank you. I try to put little surprises in my my orders.
Shane Sellers asks, is Wise Owl enamel oil-based?
No. So for Wise Owl, they are very environmentally conscious. So all their products are water-based products. The chalk style paint, chalk synthesis paint, is VOC free. So there are 0 VOCs, and all their other products are low VOC. So like we're here in this clothes shop working, and there's no odor whatsoever.
Carol Cahoon on Facebook. Apparently a handful of almonds is the same as paracetamol. I'm guessing that's a medication for headaches.
Oh.
I don't know.
I used to eat a lot of almonds.
I do not know.
I'm trying to figure out my best way to do this. I'm going to have to cut my crown. I'm so sad. Because if I try to trim it perfectly, I might be off. And so I think I'm just going to put like a slit right here just to release the paper so it can move. And then I'm going to have to sacrifice my crown. Sorry, I'm whining.
Jessica Waller's Simdars on YouTube. TikTok definitely has more freedom. Dreaming Cat Studio, the benefit of being on YouTube is if you have YouTube Pro or whatever it's called, you can do other things on your phone and still have the video running.
Ooh, nice.
So, and then we have a whole Australian discussion going on YouTube as well. Margie Ponsford Thompson, Queenslander, also born and bred. I did not know that Queensland was known in Australia as the Sunshine State.
Oh, really?
So does that mean Queensland is your Florida? You don't want to be your Florida.
Be nice.
You do not want to be Australia's Florida.
Be nice.
I'm being nice. I'm not saying what I want to say about Florida.
Shh.
And let's see.
I did it. I'm going to have to piece this together. So you guys see what I did? I'm being impatient because if I would have wet this paper first, I would have had the flexibility that I wanted. But you guys will see me. So you guys see I made a mistake there. I snipped that and it's not even. But you guys will see me fix it. So that's good. So we're going to start over here though. But before I start decoupaging on this one, so for this example, I'm going to show you guys how you can wet your decoupage paper ahead of time, which is going to allow it to expand. And then you're going to decoupage while it's expanded so that you don't have to worry about the paper expanding when you decoupage. Now, I am growing to like this method more because I feel like I get the benefits of the traditional decoupage method with the added benefit of really decreasing the odds of my getting any kind of wrinkles. Because essentially what I'm doing is I'm stretching the paper out ahead of time.
Carol Cahoon on Florida, or on Facebook. Yeah, they're Floridian.
Just shh. Stop it.
Honey, everybody makes fun of Florida.
Except for the people who live in Florida?
No, they kind of do too.
Oh. Okay, so you guys see I've misted that. Now it's not insanely wet, right? I didn't like soak it wet, but I wet it enough so that the paper is responding to that moisture, and now the paper is already stretched. And so now when I go into decoupage, I don't have to worry about it responding to my decoupage medium because the paper is already wet. And so, because this is an 18-pound tissue, it's a heavier tissue, I can do this. I'm going to be careful, but I don't have to worry about it necessarily being too delicate for me to work with, right?
And
so,
Liz Clark asks, is it upside down?
Is what upside down?
I don't know. That's her question. Is it upside down?
No, I wanted it to be this way.
Maybe because it's like holding up like a paddle, like a sign.
Oh, no, I wanted it to be this way. I'm thinking that I may do a layer of like food grade resin over the top of this. I think that will be cool. And this could be like a charcuterie board. And you guys see that? So it's not responding at all to my decoupage medium because it's already moist. And so there's nothing to respond because it's already responded to the water. And so this is becoming one of my favorites. I do think it would be harder to accomplish on a larger piece. It's easier to do on something smaller like a stool or something like that. And a really quick note, I used to try to just wet the part that I was going to decoupage and kind of wet as I go. And I found that that's not the best. That doesn't work out the best. It works the best when you just wet the whole piece of paper, and then you don't end up with any weird marks from where you're getting tension from the dry and the wet areas responding differently. But this method is really cool because you do get the benefit of the original method and making sure that it's really adhered to the surface, you know, and all the things that I love about it, but you get the added benefit of your paper not responding to the moisture of your decoupage medium. And I generally will unload my brush away from my paper, and then I'll go back and make sure that I get product underneath there. I don't want to unload a lot of product right underneath my paper because that's how you'll see Sometimes I'll get messages from people wondering why they can see a distinct line where they stopped and started their decoupage. One can happen if you unload too much product right next to the paper, and the other can happen if you pull your paper up and go back under that same spot, because you're in essence depositing 2 layers of decoupage, and you can see that in your finished product. See what I mean when I said I should have waited? Because the paper is wet, it has a lot more, it's moving a lot more, so I should have just waited, but I didn't, so I'm gonna have to fix this now. And I'm just gonna snip it now as I go and get it laid down. I'm being a bit of a perfectionist. If something happens and it's not perfect, it's not at the end of the world, I'll just cheat and go in with some glaze and make it look like I did it on purpose.
So I've got a question for our Australian viewers. 7 states in Australia, right? Western, Northern Territory, Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania. I know New Zealand, that's the Fiji, etc. They're their own places. I get that. Because Australia is also a continent, does like New Zealand fall under the continent of Australia? I've never understood that, because otherwise New Zealand's just kind of hanging out there, like an island without a home.
Or it's its own home. So really
but it's
quickly,
gotta be part
you guys.
of a continent.
Well, baby, a continent is a physical thing.
Well, Hawaii's part of North America.
Well, it's not part. I mean,
technically it is.
It is. No, I know. I mean, it's part of the U.S., but it's not still on the. It's not on the continent.
Yes, it is. It's part of the continent of North America, just like Ireland is part of the continent of Europe. Even though it's an island, so I'm just kind of curious. Does New Zealand fall under the continent of Australia? I just one of those things that we as North American and as American United States citizens, we don't
necessarily.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of that kind of geography training when we're going through school. So I was just kind of curious.
So I am patching, you guys. If you guys are watching what I'm doing, I am literally going through and patching this in. This particular paper, I'm going to show you guys up close. I really do love these grain sack papers. I'm proud of them because I was able to accomplish what looks like fabric. So they're not just like flat papers with lines on them. They actually have texture, like fabric texture to them. So I'm just trying to line that up so that it lines up with the rest of this design.
Deborah Kissinger, would you say again what sealant you will use to make it food safe?
I have to find out the name of it. I was watching Tracy. I don't know if you guys watch my page during the week. We have recycled retailers who will come on and they'll do demonstrations. And Tracy was on Thursday and she was using a resin. I believe she said it was food grade resin. So I will get more information and bring it to you guys. And so I'm going to go ahead and dry this so all this stays in place so I can come back and trim it. But you guys see how there was like, I didn't even have to fight with that, right? And there's like 0 wrinkles on that.
Lisa Ortolan, no, it doesn't. So New Zealand's not part of the continent of it? You don't say. Okay. And Vanessa, y'all, please don't start anything on math.
On what?
Math.
Oh.
No math. And Carol Cahoon says we are independent of each other. I understand as countries, of course you are. And I also know Australian citizens don't want to be referred to as New Zealanders and vice versa. I get that. It's like Americans and Canadians. We love each other, but I'm not a Canadian, I'm an American. I'm not an American, I'm a Canadian. I get that. And we really do like each other. We love Canadians. So I understand that, but I'm just wondering from a geographic standpoint, because Japan's an island. Japan is part of the Asia continent.
Yeah.
I was just curious about New Zealand. So, Pat Reed, what days are you on? The times and time zone.
I am on at 6 p.m. on Sunday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's where we are right now.
Well, we decided here's how we're going to start framing it for 2023.
Okay.
We are always on Sunday
Yes.
at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
From this point forward.
Okay.
So that
You
means,
heard the man.
So that means we will adjust. Royce and Dave
man,
will
I
adjust.
shifted my paper. Y'all see that? I was centered. Now I'm not.
So we will have to, because we've generally been coming on at the same time for us.
Yes, but
But
not
because
for
of the time shift and Arizona doesn't,
Yes.
that meant everybody else had to shift their watch. We're going to do it the other way for 23. We're going to keep you guys at your time. We will adjust
Our
when
time.
Yeah. So 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
I'm going to trim this really quickly, you guys, so I can do a top coat, and then we'll do iron-on decoupage last. What time is it, baby?
1 hour, 5 minutes.
Okay.
So you have 25
Perfect.
minutes. Okay, Lisa Ortolin, Oceania is a wider region encompassing the Australian continent, New Zealand, and various island countries in the Pacific Ocean that are not included in the 7-continent model. Thank you. All right, that makes sense. Well, then is it time to not say Australia is the continent and instead Oceania is the continent? I know. Send me to the UN. I'll get everybody mad. What's he talking about? Get him out of here.
It's causing problems.
Diplomatic immunity.
Oh my gosh. What movie is that? Oh, I guess it's a bunch of movies, but I remember one movie in particular. The bad guy is like killing people, and he kept saying he had diplomatic immunity.
Oh, there's
I don't care about no stinking diplomatic immunity. He just killed somebody.
some.
Look, I messed with that area right there that was still wet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get too loud, Vanessa? I might have. Sun Lama on YouTube said, I love Canadians. Yes, Canadians are wonderful people. I've yet to meet a Canadian I did not like. In Canada, too.
Oh, I know. One of these days I'm going to get there. Okay. I know I'm taking more time with this than well, you guys don't know how much time I anticipated taking. I just told you guys. I'm taking more time with this than I anticipated, but you guys get to see kind of how I work around this whole business up here. Okay.
Oh, Catherine Miles just... we thought we had it all figured out. Catherine Miles. So you come on at noon, Sydney, Australia time.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Girl.
Which is Monday.
Oh,
So, we just talked about America. See, again, I just did it.
I know. It's because I do
America-centric.
good to understand what time we're on here.
Deborah Kissinger, El Paso is actually Mountain Standard Time. The rest of Texas is Central. Pat Reed, you're only on Sundays.
Yes. So I am here live on Sundays. Someday I'll get back to uploading short form video. Well, I upload short form videos to YouTube. So those are like the 1 minute videos. And we used to do like 25-minute videos, but I lost my VA, so I haven't done those in a while. But I hope to get back to those soon. And then on my page, though, on Facebook, I do have retailers who carry recycled paper, and they come live and do demonstrations during the week. So Monday, I believe, is Tucson Junksters. Tracy is on Thursdays, I believe. Tracy, if you're here tonight, you can correct me. And then Cassandra from Pecan Porch is here every other... I can't remember the day. I'm sorry. But we do have people on the Recycle page regularly who are coming on and doing demonstrations with things that you guys can do with the decoupage paper. And they don't talk as much as me and David, so you guys can just get to the business.
Karen Rocco, a continent is a landmass. Oceania is the area that encompasses the landmass. But by that argument, then, Japan's not part of Asia.
See? Baby, just let it go.
I can't.
You can't let it go?
Can't. I gotta know.
You guys know what's going to happen. We're going to go inside, and he's going to turn on YouTube, and he's going to do a search. And for the rest of the night, we're going to watch videos on this subject.
No, I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I was thinking for dinner we could watch Knives Out, the new Knives Out movie.
Oh, okay.
So
I am loving this project. Should I paint this handle, you guys? Because I was thinking I want to paint it black. Or maybe I should paint it black and then distress it back to the wood. Ooh, that would be pretty. And I do have more of these made, you guys, on my website. What did I say it was, baby? Hashtag what? For where they can find the stuff. Because somebody mentioned earlier that they bought the Christmas trees and she really liked them. It was from the same thing, the same section of my shop. So we do have stuff that's made like this, because I know not everybody has access to power tools, maybe, or maybe you just don't have time to go picking. And so I'll put these up. I'm going to try to get them up tomorrow. They're all different because they're all made with salvage stuff. And I think it's hashtag salvage if you're interested in buying anything. And as well as the tennis racket tray too. I think I have 2 or more of those left. So whenever you're working with decoupage, you guys, these areas, like these corners right here, they hold on to moisture a lot longer. So even when you think it's dry, it probably isn't dry. So if I try to trim this with my X-Acto knife right now, I'm afraid that the paper is going to tear instead of cutting, because there's going to be moisture trapped under there. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to let that chill out while we move on to the next project, and we'll come back to this one, and I'll show you guys how I just use my X-Acto knife to trim off the little pieces of paper here so we have like a nice finished piece.
Sherry Martin, we refer to Eastern Standard as real time.
Oh, I know, Miss Sherry over there.
Because we get there first. Speaking of America, my brain hurts to think it's noon somewhere else.
America.
Let's see, Shannon Booth and Patty Ruth both like the new Knives Out. I like the first one, so fingers crossed on this one. The trailer looks really good. Let's see, Angie Champagne, Salve the Handle. Carol Lupi,
that's a good idea.
Carol Lupi, I hope I'm saying that right, or Lupe, says paint it black in distress.
That's what I was thinking.
Sue Giesbert says, I think a black handle would look great. And
I could do all those things, because I could paint it black, distress it, and then seal it with salve.
Flea Brown on YouTube painted white, distress back to the wood.
That's an option too.
Let's see. Sun Llama on YouTube, yes, paint it and the edges, then sand it back to distress. And Lisa Ortolin says yes for black.
So I am just going over this. You guys see me looking. I'm going to be doing the iron-on method right now. I'm going to show you guys some very important steps, because I think that this is what happens. A lot of people complain about getting bubbles like way later.
12.
Okay. Way later when they do the iron-on decoupage, and I think this is why. When you're laying on your product, it is really, really important that you look at it from the side and make sure that you have even coverage, because even if you have an area that has less product than the rest of the board, it may have product, but it's less than the rest. Those will be the places where you'll end up with bubbles down the road. So when you're putting it on, if I didn't want to waste product, I would use a bigger brush so I could cover it faster, and then I could make sure that I have really nice even coverage all the way across. So the second thing that's really important is when we say put 3 coats of product, you want to make sure that you dry in between coats. If I just go in with a second coat right now, I'm just putting product on and just moving everything around again. I'm not putting on a whole separate layer. So I'm going to take a few minutes and dry this layer, and then I'm going to go in with my second layer. And drying in between your layers is really important for good results when you're doing the iron-on decoupage.
Catherine Miles says, what is this going to be?
It's going to be a little tray. I'm just going to put the frame on there. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint the frame or stain it with some glaze, and then it'll just be a tray, and I'll put some stuff on there. I'll show you guys a picture when I get done.
All right. Flea Brown, LOL, your voice said that's an option. but your face said nope to the suggestion you painted white.
No, it's an option. I was just thinking in my mind, honestly, this is what you saw my face say. This paper is not white, right? So, and I was thinking if I use a warm white, it would look weird against this because it's not exactly warm. And so I would have to do one or two things. I would have to either use a gray white with this and then glaze all of it, or I would have to glaze the paper to warm it up to use a warm white. That is literally what I was thinking with the white. Yeah, all the things that I would have to do to make white work. So it's not a nope, it's just for that project, I feel like I would have to really be thoughtful about what color white I used and then how I would make the tones match, how it will match tonally.
All right, I have seen for the first time now, I've seen this on other lives on YouTube where somebody will bring up a comment, and it's typically the super chats that people pay for.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, don't pay for super chats. We don't want that. Don't do that. We don't want you to spend your money on that stuff.
No.
Don't do it. We'll read your comments.
Oh, you know, I think I did that, baby, because I think I touched that comment when I was trying to scroll.
Yeah, and it just popped up.
And now I can't find it.
Margie Ponsford Thompson's comment is sitting there at the bottom of the screen.
I know. I'm sorry.
Which, it's a lovely comment. We're happy to have it, Margie.
But I can't find it now because there's so many comments. And so I would have to touch the comment to bring it off the screen. Oh, there it is. So I was scrolling and I did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was trying to get to the bottom of the comments.
All right. Vanessa on YouTube says, what is salve? I've not heard of that. It's not S-A-V, it's S-A-L-V-E.
It is. So I use Wise Owl salve, and it is a combination of hemp oil, beeswax, and essential oils. And it is beautiful on wood. It can condition your wood, condition your leather, and it's actually a sealer. And there is like a clear salve that does not have a scent, but the salves come in multiple scents. So if you're working on a piece of furniture, right, and maybe it smells like mothballs. I don't know why I get mothball furniture so much. And you scrub it and you clean it, and you know, you've gotten rid of the mothball smell, but there might be a little bit there. You can use salve inside the drawers to help to deodorize that. And it also has antimicrobials in it too. So it's a really good product.
The first time I experienced it, you had tobacco scented.
The tobacco flower is my favorite.
And
it is still my favorite.
I'd never encountered that before, and I liked it so much. Now my cologne is tobacco flower.
It's tobacco flower. It's based on that same kind of, yeah. The tobacco flower is my personal favorite, but there are a lot of
cigarettes or cigars. It just it has a distinct scent that's really, really pleasant.
I want to show you guys something. Since we're here, we're going to do a teachable moment. So I wanted to use primer on this, and I ended up using paint on this instead. Do you guys see that brown stripe going across there? Let me make sure I'm in the right frame. That is, oh Lord, it just left my brain. That is bleed through from the wood. And it's a tannin that's coming from this wood because it's unfinished. And so a lot of times I hear people say that you can use their product without having to do any prep. And this is probably the only soapbox that I stand on regularly, but prepping your furniture is so incredibly important, especially because we're buying used furniture. We're finding furniture in thrift stores, yard sales, roadsides. We have no idea what that furniture has been through before we buy it. So cleaning it and sanding it is super important. If you're gonna paint it, you really wanna use a quality stain blocking primer, because you would hate to paint something beautiful and you've used decoupage paper and transfers and all the things, and then you walk by 2 days later and there's a big old splotchy orange mark or a pink mark where tannins have been pulled through to the top of your finish. And so when you're painting unfinished wood, you really want to use a good stain blocking primer before you paint, because even though we all realize that chalk style paint has really good adhesive qualities, it's still not 100% because there may be oils or something on that wood that you didn't identify initially. And even if it does adhere beautifully, if there are tannins bleeding through, it's going to bleed right through that finish. So
I guess that YouTube comment also appeared on Facebook as well. So
oh yeah,
sorry about that.
That's me over here messing around, y'all.
And please, YouTubers, don't do the super chats.
No.
There's no need for you to spend money. This is for fun. Please don't. I know some YouTubers that go live, they really like that.
Well, the super chats. So if I can see where there's value in it. If we came live and we had 900 people live every night and somebody wanted to make sure that their comment was seen, that's how you do it. Because otherwise the comments just fly by and you just don't know.
And I get that. There are some lives that I watch where I can't keep up. But we don't want to take anybody's money like that. I mean, this is for fun.
Well, I just don't want to. People are generating revenue for their businesses in different ways. So I don't want to place judgment on them for doing that because
no.
It does take time to be able to do it. Yeah, this is fun.
We don't mind people spending money with us. we like
but
that.
not for a comment. We're probably going to see your comment and read it.
Buy the paper, buy the stencils, please. But not for a comment. No, this is our fun night.
Yeah. No, that one guy who opens the baseball cards, there was like 1,300 people on it.
I know. That's...
And he's just like opening baseball cards. And there's that many people watching,
heck,
including my husband.
I'm watching.
So you guys see how I keep looking at this and I keep applying more? It's because I'm looking at it to make sure that I have equal product all the way around. And it's easy, especially like when you're working and you want to get finished, to kind of speed past this process. But I think this is where you get bubbles, is where you have areas that do not have either any product or it doesn't have a good layer of product.
Sonia Hansen says, hiding out to watch this. I have a house full of company this week. The kitchen is full of bodies playing games.
Ooh.
Corinne Godfrey, Wise Owl Salve is amazing. Lavender is her fave.
I know, and they discontinued lavender, and then they brought, did I order some? Because they brought some back. The lavender is beautiful, and it doesn't smell the way you expect it to smell.
Everybody's got a different one. Carol Loopy, I have the vanilla bourbon. It smells divine. I'm going to check that one out.
That's a newer one. It is. I actually have that, maybe, if you want to smell it.
Tammy Valoni, I love the citrus mint salve. I've smelled that one. It's okay. I like it. Let's see. Joy Elizabeth Brotus. If you get George to cut another piece for the middle of the tennis racket holder, you can double use it as a tray and a flower press.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I have some more. Actually, I just bought another one at the thrift store. Don't tell my husband.
Jessica, why? You tell the guys that work there, don't tell them.
I know. So David is on the board of directors. So the thrift store that I go to most often is a nonprofit, and we have
it serves special needs people.
Special needs, and they get to work the register, and they do they work in the store, and they're in the community, and they're because years ago, they would have jobs for that population, but they would be like in a back room somewhere, like making light bulbs.
This nonprofit started with them stripping wires and tearing clothing into rags, which was kind of hidden away. And we've got a fantastic director who said, no. What we're going to do is these folks are part of our community. Yes. They're going to be in the community, and they're just the greatest people to work with.
Yeah. And so they run the thrift store. I mean, they work in the thrift store. So when I go in, they all know David too, because David used to be the editor for our local newspaper. And he's an advocate for the Special Olympics. And so he would go out and take pictures of all the athletes, and of course they would get in the paper. So they all know David, I think, just because they used to always see him and they wanted to be in the paper.
They did. And
so now when I go to the thrift store, I'm like, do not tell my husband you guys saw me here.
And they don't.
Good job.
Really don't. They did.
Anthony says, I never see your husband. Good job, Anthony. Good answer.
Let's see. Becky Knutson, do you have new papers coming?
Yes, thank you, Becky. The new papers are coming out tomorrow. If you are a Roycycled Insider, you guys got an email this evening before we came live with photos of all the new papers and introducing our new artist. Her name is Adriana Velosa, and she's incredibly talented, so sweet, and I love, love, love her work. I cannot wait to share it. And Lexi has done some artwork for us for this quarter for the spring. You guys can see that. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm always excited. But I'm excited about this release. And so I hope you guys love it as much as I do. So that's my second coat. What time is it? It's 7:26.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead because I can do the third coat wet. So we'll just
Okay.
do this. I'm going to put this on and then we're going to iron it on.
Jessica Ann Waller Simdar's tip: use hairspray to prevent bubbles.
Hairspray? How are we using this hairspray? More information, please.
Joy Elizabeth Brotis, I got 2 of your stencils. She also am using rivets for living room furniture.
Ooh, you know what? That's one of my favorites is the rivets. I have a piece over here all prepped and ready to go. I think we'll do that live. I need to do more furniture live. My husband has declared that I need to get back to the furniture. So now that we have additional cameras, I think I can do furniture in a way that's not awkward. Before it was awkward because you guys are just looking at the back of my head the whole time.
Yeah.
But now we can put a camera over here to look at me and have the camera on the furniture, kind of like we do now. Anyways.
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
Well, you have 3 cameras running right now because each one is broadcasting to a different platform.
Oh, I'm gonna get another camera, baby. That's the
No,
point.
I understand that part. But I there's a way to do it, but it's not the way you're doing it right now.
So, Switcher Studio, I can use up to 5 cameras,
That's what I'm saying. So,
and they can all stream through Switcher. So everybody, so like now, how Facebook and
oh, that's
YouTube
right,
are
'cause
seeing the same
these
thing.
2 cameras are broadcasting to both YouTube and Facebook. It's the other one that's not because
It's on TikTok.
doesn't go to Switcher. Got
Yes.
it. Okay.
So
I
as
see
soon
what
as
you
we
mean.
get another phone, I'll be able to add another destination to Switcher, and that can be, the same. And so that way,
Vivian Phillips, how do we get on
What
the
did I do?
Insiders email list, please?
if you put hashtag Insider in your comments, you will get a message showing you exactly where to go to become an insider. And speaking of the stencils, you guys, we have a stencil course. Lexi and I are going to tag team to teach it. It's like a mini course. It's only $19.99. It's a 3-hour class inside of a Facebook group, so you guys will be able to ask questions live. And it's going to be fun. I don't know. Lexi and I, we make each, like, if we went to something serious, we probably couldn't sit by each other because we'd get in trouble.
They do giggle a lot when they're on the phone.
I know we do. So if you guys haven't signed up for the course yet and you're interested, it's if you put hashtag stencil in the comments. You guys see what I did? I laid my paper down.
Deborah Cardle, no space between the hashtag and insider.
Yeah, just a hashtag insider, all one not word, but you guys know what I'm saying. All one thing.
Yeah, no spaces.
And then hashtag stencil if you want to get information to sign up for the stencil class. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be showing you guys all the different ways that you can use the stencils because we had a specific vision when we made these stencils, and we're going to show you guys what our visions are for these stencils and all the different things that you can do.
Let's see. Brenda Biggio, I spray the back of my paper with sealer, no bubbles.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna experiment with that too because somebody told me that just recently and I did not know that before. And I am just now. So ordinarily I would have turned my Cricut on earlier to warm it up, but I'm missing my little stand, so I didn't want it to be over here too hot.
Candace Clay, I thought that the stencil class was offered to retailers earlier, but we didn't seem to get the email.
So it's offered to retailers for free. So if you're a Roycycled retailer, this is going to be part of your continued education with the brand. And so if you didn't get the email, message me and I'll message you the link for that. And then you want to make sure and sign up for the email. I'll drop the link again in the group because that's where I send out updates, you guys, is through the email. So you want to make sure that you're on that email list.
On YouTube, Vekol Restoration. I know I'm mispronouncing that. Vekol Restoration? I don't know. Vekol. What day, what time?
It's going to be on January 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The replay will be available in the group for 2 months. So we're going to do the class that one night, but then over the course of the 2 months, I'll be posting challenges. We'll be sharing projects. So I want us to kind of do the class together, and then I want us to all kind of work on our projects and share and encourage each other to be part of that class. So it's set up a little different than my other class have been in the past. But I think that this way it's going to be really, really good because it's going to encourage people to not just to take the class, but to watch it and then actually create something.
On YouTube, Vekol Restoration is from south of Maricopa, so welcome.
Hey.
Let's see, Jessica Waller-Simdar, so just for fun, I can't send a super chat, tee-hee. Absolutely fab finds. I'm in Florida, so don't hate me. We don't hate Florida.
That's why I told him to behave.
We don't hate Florida. It's just,
he is just being naughty. That's what it is.
You mix gators and meth, and things go sideways.
Stop it. So really quickly, you guys, I'm on to the iron-on method now. So you guys are starting to put my 3 layers on, right? So this is just a sheet of parchment paper that I have here. And so I'm laying this down to protect my paper because I don't want to burn my paper. And I have my Cricut on high is what I have it on. And now I'm just going over, and what's happening underneath the paper, the heat is reactivating my adhesive underneath there. And so it just turned green. I was rushing it, I know. And so now my paper is going to adhere and I will have 0 wrinkles or bubbles. Now, when I go over the top of this with a water-based sealer, it will wrinkle again, but as it dries, the wrinkles will go away. If it bothers you that it wrinkles when you go back over it, you can use like a spray-on sealer, like basically like clear spray paint. You guys know what I'm talking about. You buy it at Rust-Oleum has it. You can spray that on and then it won't reactivate because it's not moisture, right? I think it's an oil-based product, so you won't have that issue. But if you do use your water-based sealer over the top, you really, seriously, just walk away and leave it alone. And as it dries and the paper like shrinks back up, those ripples will go away.
Marsha Walls on YouTube said it would not let her upgrade to VIP when checking out.
Huh, that's weird.
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah, if you message me, I'll send you a link so that you can upgrade. Yeah, so if you upgrade to VIP, you'll get bonus material. There'll be one extra video one from Egypt. So 2 extra videos, one from me, one from Lexi. There'll be a downloadable printable, and then you'll have access to the course for a year. And the upgrade's only $10 more. This course is really affordable, you guys, because I wanted you guys to take it. So $19.99 and then $10 for the upgrade.
Deb's Reclaimed Vintage asks, when do we, I'm assuming retailers, get the link to the group for the stencil class?
Once you register. So I still want you guys to register. That's why you need to get the link so that you can register for the class. And once you register for the class, then you'll get the link to the group so that you can enter. But I do need you to register. It's just logistically, it's the only way for me to keep track of all the things, is to have everybody in one place.
And it's pronounced Vekol Restoration.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So if you're on YouTube and you put hashtag stencil, hashtag insiders,
yeah,
we'll go back and check everybody.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to go back. And I did figure out how I can see comments. Sorry for y'all who I didn't go back before, but I couldn't figure out how to find the comments for the lives. But
and Jessica Waller-Simdar's hairspray is the bomb.
I know, but I don't know what to do with the hairspray.
So she says spray it on the back of the paper.
Oh, okay.
Before you put it on.
I'm going to play with that, Jessica.
Shannon Booth, when did you say the next round of stencils We haven't even released the new papers. They want the new
So
stencil.
I know the new stencils are coming out soon. You guys know what it is. This is because I know I drive everyone crazy because I don't give like hard answers. Our challenge with giving hard answers anymore is that manufacturing is crazy. Even though we've kind of gotten past a lot of the craziness from COVID, it's not completely done. And we still have supply chain issues. So I don't like to give a date until like I know things are actually being like dispatched.
And we've had crazy weather this year too, which has affected
the weather
deliveries.
affected the paper because the paper was supposed to be released earlier, but yeah. So the weather forced us to push back even the date for the decoupage paper. But the stencils are coming up soon, and if you register for the class, you'll actually get to see the stencils before anybody else gets to see them.
Nancy Konjersky-Koskovich, do you always do 3 coats of media before ironing your paper?
I do. I found that 3 coats works best. I used to do 2 coats, but I started doing 3 coats a few years ago. So if you see any of my earlier videos, I did say 2 coats because that's what I used to do. But I find that 3 coats really does guarantee a really good adhesion.
Shannon's apologizing for asking about the stencils. No apologies.
Oh,
We're
girl,
just,
you don't have to apologize.
Just teasing. It's
He
okay.
messing with you because that's what he does.
It's all right. I'm glad that you want to see them.
But they're coming soon. And I always say that. But I'm really excited about these stencils that are coming.
Catherine Miles, I hope that answered because she asked how many layers. So I hope that answered.
So we did 3 layers. I do want to do a top coat really quickly. I know we're over time, you guys. I apologize. If I had had my stuff prep, we would have been right on time. My little corner didn't adhere there, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit. So it's all, I'm going to show you guys. So I've ironed it on. It's completely adhered to there, right? So 3 coats. I'm dried in between each of my coats. Now I'm going to go over it with my top coat. And you guys will see, I will get some rippling. And the paper is just it's responding to the moisture. It's what it's responding to. And it's not like a ton. I mean, I'm getting ripples in there, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show them. It's hard to show on the camera. I have some ripples coming up.
You're at an hour 36.
Okay, I'm going to dry this really quick, and then we're going to finish up.
All right.
I just want to show them. But if you dry it, those ripples do go away. So you just don't panic. Either walk away and let it dry. You don't have to use a dryer. I'm just always live, so I'm using the dryer. Or you can, walk away and let it dry. And I say walk away because I know that you want to mess with it. You want to fiddle with it, right? Just walk away, let it dry completely. A lot of times our wood holds on to a lot of moisture. So even if it feels dry to the touch, there still could be moisture underneath. If you feel your wood and it still feels a little cool, that means that there's still moisture under there. So just walk away, come back the next day, the next morning, or a few hours later, and all those ripples will be gone. Or you can use a tool like I'm using here, and you can dry it, and that paper just stretch it. I mean, it tightens back just like your jeans when you throw them in the dryer after you wash them. And you got to wear them for another 2 days to get them stretched out again. And it's done. And you have a perfect wrinkle-free finish. So just a really quick recap. On this side, we did my traditional, which is just the wet method, we'll call it, decoupage, and we use plastic, right, in order to lay it down to prevent wrinkles. But you can also use a spatula with the felt on the end. Those are the 2 things that I primarily use so that you can manipulate your paper without tearing it. We did the iron-on method on this side. We put down 3 layers of product, drying each layer before adding the next one. And I just use my mini Cricut, but you can use a regular iron or a hanger iron if that's what you have. And then on this one, we sprayed our paper first and then we adhered it so that the moisture from the water caused the paper to stretch in advance. And so we didn't have to worry about the paper responding to our decoupage medium when we put it on the surface. So those are the 3 ways that we demonstrated tonight how you can get a wrinkle-free decoupage finish on your projects and your furniture pieces. So.
All right, one last one. Holly Pohl just joined. Said Happy New Year's from Buffalo,
Happy
New York.
New Year.
From Buffalo. And Buffalo has been
Oh,
hit
I
bad with
know.
weather twice so far this year.
Prayers for Buffalo. Because based on the pictures and the videos I've seen,
Want to make sure everybody's okay.
I know.
All right. Hashtag insiders, hashtag stencil.
Yeah, hashtag insider. If you want to be a Recycled insider, the insiders get information first before I post anything on any social media.
And this year, the insiders got special sales.
Yes, I only advertised Black Friday sales to the insiders. They did not go out to the general public. And I do a resource every month. I did not get my resource out for December. I'm sorry, you guys, but we'll get it. Maybe you'll get 2 in January. I really have been making a conscious effort to be present when my family is here and stuff, which means I'm not working.
Oh, here's a great suggestion from Joy Elizabeth Brotes. I always have more than one project going, so that's how I give it the drying time.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Just make sure you don't leave it there long enough to fall out of love with it, because you don't make it back to it. But yes, you are absolutely right. And you guys see, I just used my my old school X-Acto knife to cut around that, and so now she's all done. I'll probably glaze this, but I'll show you guys these projects when I'm done. So
Lorraine Dobbins says hello, Happy New Year from wonderful Florida.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Don't listen to my husband.
She said wonderful Florida. I read her comment. It's wonderful.
Oh my gosh. So thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight. Happy New Year. Prayers that 2023 brings you many blessings. There's been a lot of conversation, at least in my sphere of social media, about going into the new year. And normally people are like, I'm going to be my best self and I'm going to do this different and this different. I'm just going to be me, y'all. That's all I have the energy to do, is just to be me going into the new year. So that's it. Although my word for 2023 is discovery, which I'm excited about that. So I'm going to try to spend a little bit more time creating, because when you have a creative business, you end up doing a lot of the business part of the creative business part. So I'm going to be deliberate and try to make time to actually create and to continue to stretch my creative muscles so that I can bring you guys new and exciting things. And I pray that you guys have a happy new year and that the new year brings you nothing but blessings. And do we have anything else before we go?
Nope.
I
Happy
think
New
that's
Year.
it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Watch Roycycle Treasures tomorrow on Instagram and Facebook. And I guess I'll do it on TikTok too for the new designs. Because I'll be sprinkling them out all through the day, you guys. So be sure and touch base with your Roycycled retailer. They'll have the designs tomorrow. Some of them will be doing pre-sales because they are still shipping out because of the weather last week. So some people have it, some people theirs is on their way. So touch base with your retailer. If you do not have a retailer, you can check on roycycle.com. There is a tab for retailers and you can find a retailer near you. If you do not have a retailer, no worries, you guys. Just reach out to your nearest retailers. 99% of them do ship. So Happy New Year, and we will see you guys next week.